She noticed the ring that morning while washing her hands, the water running warm over her skin, as it always did, carrying the faint sound of the house waking up around her. It had been there for so long that she rarely thought about it, resting quietly on her finger, worn smooth by years of movement and habit. The gold was thinner now, the engraving inside almost unreadable, but it still caught the light in the same gentle way it always had. She dried her hands slowly, turning her palm just enough to see it better, as if the ring had asked for her attention without saying a word. There was a time when she used to take it off at night, placing it carefully on the small dish by the bed, afraid of losing it in her sleep. Over the years, she stopped doing that, leaving it where it was, because taking it off felt stranger than keeping it on. The ring had become part of her hand, as natural as the lines in her skin. She moved into the kitchen and filled the kettle, her fingers brushing the handle, the ring tapping softly against the metal with a sound she barely noticed anymore. That sound used to annoy him, and he would smile when he mentioned it, joking that he always knew where she was by the way her ring announced her presence. She smiled at the memory now, a small quiet smile that came and went without effort. They had chosen the rings together so many years ago, standing side by side in a small shop that smelled of polish and dust. He had insisted on something simple, something that would last, something that would not need to be replaced when fashions changed. She remembered how the ring felt that first day, heavy and unfamiliar, as if it belonged to a different version of herself she was still becoming. Over time, the weight disappeared, not because it was gone, but because she grew used to carrying it. After he was gone, people noticed the ring before they noticed anything else. They would glance at her hand, hesitate, and then look away, unsure whether it was something they were allowed to mention. Some asked gently if she ever thought about taking it off, their voices careful, their intentions kind but misplaced. She always answered the same way, with a polite smile and a quiet shake of her head. It was not that she could not take it off. It was that she did not want to. The ring was not a symbol of grief to her. It was a reminder of a promise that did not end simply because life did. Years passed, measured in small routines rather than milestones. The ring stayed where it was through mornings and evenings, through birthdays celebrated quietly and anniversaries marked only by memory. Sometimes she would catch it on the edge of a table or against a doorframe, and the brief sting would remind her that it was still there, still part of her. On this particular morning, she found herself twisting it gently, a habit she had developed without noticing, turning it once around her finger and then back again. She remembered how he used to do the same thing with his ring when he was thinking, rolling it slowly, as if it helped him organize his thoughts. The memory came with a wave of warmth rather than pain, surprising her with its softness. She carried her tea to the table and sat down, resting her hands in her lap, the ring catching the light from the window. From that angle, she could see the small scratch along the side, the one that had appeared years ago when they moved the old dresser together. He had apologized for it, worried that he had damaged something important, and she had laughed, telling him it was only proof that the ring was being used. She realized then how many stories the ring held. Stories that lived quietly in metal and skin. There were days when the house felt too quiet, when the ring felt heavier than usual, pulling her thoughts backward. On those days she would press her thumb against it, grounding herself in its familiar shape. She never thought of it as holding her in the past. If anything, it reminded her of how much of the past she had already carried forward. One afternoon, while sorting through a drawer of old things, she found his ring. It rested in a small box, exactly where she had placed it after the funeral, untouched since. For a moment, she simply held it, surprised by how light it felt in her palm compared to the weight it once carried. She thought about putting it on a chain or placing it somewhere visible, but in the end she returned it to the box. That ring had completed its journey. Hers was still traveling. That evening, her granddaughter asked about the ring on her finger, curiosity bright and uncomfortably. "Why, do you still wear it?" the girl asked, her voice gentle in a way only children managed to be. She thought for a moment before answering, searching for words that would feel true without being heavy. "Because it still fits," she said finally, smiling. The girl nodded, satisfied, as if that explained everything. Later that night, as she prepared for bed, she caught her reflection in the mirror and noticed the ring again. It did not look like something old or worn. It looked like something lived in. She thought about all the years she had worn it without thinking, and all the years it had quietly supported her without asking for anything in return. The ring had witnessed arguments and laughter, long silences and easy conversations, moments that felt small at the time and large in memory. Taking it off now would not free her from loss. It would only remove something that still belonged. She climbed into bed and rested her hand on the blanket, the ring cool against the fabric. For the first time in a long while, she felt a sense of peace settle over her, not because the pain was gone, but because it no longer demanded to be explained. The ring stayed on her finger, not as a symbol of what she had lost, but of what she had lived. Some promises do not need to be spoken again. They stay quietly, like a ring worn smooth by time, still fitting, still true.